it seems like, Oswaldo Cabrera, Oswald Peraza, and Anthony Volpe probably by May, June of next year is going to take over in that infield. I think what they love the fact that Oswaldo play the outfield. He's like a 10 years younger version of Marwin Gonzalez. So I think they found a really good deal with that. So I do think there's definitely going to be some moves made depending on how the Yankees close out this year. I could see them bringing this team back, kind of fixing up little pieces, definitely getting a closer, like legitimate closer, because we need one. And definitely work around maybe getting Benintendi back. I think they'll definitely bring back Carpenter. I think Carpenter will come back no problem. I think, they've focused so many years on trying to, even out the lineup. And now that they finally got it, of course, everyone's hurt. Benintendi, the lefty, like I said, Carpenter, a lefty, Rizzo's just coming back. I think they finally found that.
Is Carpenter is he playing in the playoffs?
He said today that no matter what it is, he's gonna try to be a pinch hit role in the playoffs starting in the ALDS. He's really looking forward to, if the Yankees clinch that second seed, getting that time off, 5 days to really start to ramp up while the team is not playing any games.
Interesting.
So you mentioned when you were talking about one of the other questions that you had an issue with the way Hal Steinbrenner runs the team. What is it with you about Hal that really makes it a negative for you?
What bothers me, honestly, and I'm not trying to be like every other Yankee fan, because everyone, the second the Yankees lose 3 games in a row, it's Hal's fault. So,
it's Brian Cashman's fault.
Yeah,
it's Cash's fault.
It's always something.
Yes.
It's always someone's fault. Someone needs to be fired, traded, let go.
And Aaron Boone is a
Trade him
stuttering.
now.
Aaron Boone is a stuttering idiot. Everybody.
Worst manager in baseball.
Yeah. Horrible, absolutely horrible.
I think. Honestly, though, what bothers me with Hal is that our team, if you look at our starting team, starting lineup, 70% of them are players that we have traded for or signed, but really traded for. I feel like Hal never wants to go for that big fish, and it always settles for kind of like the, not beta, but like the B option. What's option B? We could get this guy, but I like the other option. But we don't have to give up as much. And the other thing that bothers me with Hal, and because I think Brian is kind of held back a lot by Hal. Brian has said that every decision he makes, he has to ask Hal, make sure Hal is good with it. He doesn't make any decisions rashly on his own. He makes sure the team is good with it. I think another thing that bothers me with Hal and Brian and all them is that they hold on to prospects a little too long. When it clearly doesn't work, they really try to hold on instead of, or they won't trade him for that big fish like we could, and they kind of hold on to him and hold on to him and hold on to him, hoping, oh, don't worry, he'll be great. Clint Frazier will be great. Miguel Andujar will be great. Doesn't work out, and then what do we end up doing with them? Just like today, we just designated Miguel Andujar for assignment, and, it's just another head-scratcher of...
He's done. He's done as a Yankee.
What did we do there? I remember the trade where we could have gotten Garrett Cole for Chance Adams, Miguel Andujar, and Clint Frazier all in one thing from Pittsburgh. But we didn't want to do that, and then Houston took them, and then look what happened. Houston doesn't end up winning, but they turn into this powerhouse and, eliminate us from the 2019 ALCS. So everything has an effect, and I feel like that's constantly what happens. And it even happened in 2010. I remember the day where the Yankees didn't want to give that extra little piece to go out and get Cliff Lee. And then Cliff Lee ends up getting traded to Texas.
Cliff Lee did not want to be here. His wife couldn't stand the New York crowds, and Cliff Lee wanted to throw up. He pretty much said, every time I stepped on the Yankee field, I wanted to throw up. So,
yeah, and I know he doesn't like New York. I know Zach Greinke didn't like New York either. There's a bunch of them. Unfortunately, when you get traded, you don't get to control that.
No.
I just think that number 2 behind CC Sabathia, and you form that Cleveland Indians, rotation again back in 2007, you could have won again. But not trading that extra little piece cost us, because then he faces us in the ALCS in game 1 and 6 and absolutely dominates us.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, to me, when I think of obviously the New York Yankees of the mid-2000s, the thing that really stood out to me was the bad contract. Provano, horrible contract. I mean, they decided to bring him in. They thought he was the Josh Beckett for the Yankees as Josh Beckett went to the Red Sox. You saw what Josh Beckett did with the Red Sox. And Provano, gets hit by a hot dog truck and he's out for the season. I mean,
Red Sox pretty much took that whole Marlins team.
I mean, it's horrible. But then again, this is baseball, and the Yankees have been an organization that has won, and they're the only organization in professional sports in 30 years that have had winning seasons. No professional team in any sport in history has been 30 seasons or 31 seasons now in a row with winning records. So you say whatever you want, you have to win championships. The Yankees are all about championships. Just look at what the Yankees have done. It's a pretty amazing feat of where the Yankees have been. It's just unfortunate that it hasn't worked out when it comes to championships. So my question to you is, man, a lot of people think that this could be a year of the Subway Series. A lot of people. And with the Mets getting healthy, Max Scherzer, Jacob DeGrom, this could be the last year for Jake. If he does become available, there are stories coming out that the Yankees would be interested in Jake. Also, the Atlanta Braves would be interested in him. And if the Yankees don't sign Aaron Judge, I think Jake would be a nice little piece to start right behind, or even before Garrett Cole. That would be a great 1-2 punch. But, Jake can't stay healthy. But it's just a whole nother story. But what are your thoughts to the Yankees and the Mets for the first time since 2000 going to the World Series and facing off against one another?
That would be unbelievable, because now with social media and how things are, it would be chaos. It would be incredible too, because you would see everything came true for the Mets, and the second Steve Cohen became the owner of the Mets, and how everyone wanted to bring the Mets back to the World Series. And even I'm a diehard Yankee fan, but I was excited for the Mets. I still am. I love seeing the Mets do successful, because that's exactly what I want. I want a Mets-Yankees World Series, because who wouldn't want that again? Who wouldn't want all that?
The Mets don't want it. You go to 10 Met fans right now, and you line them up in a row, and you ask them, would you like to see a Mets-Yankees World Series? I would give the Met fans 8 out of the 10 would probably say no. Speedy, do you want to see the Mets versus the Yankees?
Honestly. I just want the Mets in the World Series. I don't really care.
If
I don't mind. I'm not gonna keep the Mets out of the World Series.
My question to you, that has nothing to do with the Mets making the World Series.
I would rather have the Mets play the Yankees in the World Series than the Mets not be in it at all.
That's not my question. The Mets make the World Series. Okay, you got the Mets in the World Series. Do you want to see the Yankees?
I don't prefer the Yankees. I don't really care about that. But
he doesn't. What I'm trying to say is, Sean, is most Met fans, even they want to be in the World Series, and they don't care if it comes down to it, them being in the World Series against the Yankees, they would take it. But most of them would tell you they do not want to see the Yankees there, because if they have to play the Yankees and they lose against the Yankees again, it would be an absolute crazy onslaught that the Mets can't be the Yankees in a big game. And I don't think the Met fans want to see it again. It happened in 2000. The Mets got embarrassed by the Yankees. They really did. And the Met fans didn't want to see it again. And I'm sure Steve Cohen doesn't want to see that either.
Yeah. At the same time, though, if the Mets were to win that,
the Yankee fans will say it's 1-1. Well, we have to play again.
Yeah,
that's what the Yankee. I know the Yankee fans. The Yankee fans would make an excuse that it's 1-1. We won in 2000. You won in 2022. So what? That's what and by the way, how many championships do the Yankees? I'm a Yankee fan. But I'm a realist, and I don't like the Yankee fans. I think the Yankee fans are a bunch of idiots. That's what the Yankee fans would say. Oh, we got 27 World Series, and you have how many? 3 now. Big whoop. That's what they'll say. The Yankee fans will make and find a way to. That's why I don't hate the Mets. I don't hate the Mets because I want the Mets to be competitive. I would love to see the Mets and the Yankees play against one another every single year in the World Series if it came down to it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was saying. Like I would love that, and I think Yankees and the Mets, like, it's just such fun atmosphere. It's the fans that ruin it for other fans.
I agree.
Everyone says what they want to say, and everyone goes for that huge gash, personal. Like, it doesn't have to be personal. Like, I get it, your fan base and you're obsessed and whatever, but That's the reason. I think the Yankees would love to face the Mets, as the Mets would love to face the Yankees. And I have wanted nothing more. Like I cheer for the Mets, and I know all the Yankee fans, they love to look at the Mets like doing better than the Yankees right now, and I'm like,
Who cares?
Who cares? Like if we're seeing each other October 31st, because I think that's Game 1 of the World Series, then all bets are off.
It's going to be harder for the Mets to get to the World Series than the Yankees, because the way it's set up for the Yankees, even though I do not like Seattle, I'd rather see Seattle than the Braves. I'd rather see Seattle than the Cardinals. I'd rather see. I don't want to see any of those teams. The Mets are going to have to go through those types of teams to get into the the national championship, the National League Championship, and then they have to play the top tier American League team. Houston, the Yankees, maybe the Blue Jays show up there at Tampa or one of those teams. You don't want to play those teams either. So it is harder for the Mets to go and achieve what they want to do than the Yankees. Who do the Yankees have to beat? They got to play. They have to beat Cleveland. As of right now, it's Cleveland or Seattle, and then they'll probably have to play either the Blue Jays, Tampa, and Houston. Now, I think the Yankees would rather not play Houston because they don't play well in Houston. But again, I don't think the Yankees would give a crap. I mean, I just don't think they care if they're hot and they're actually hitting on all cylinders. So it's I don't know. I'm frustrated with everything. Yeah,
they show that they don't care about the record. And, they wanted every Yankee fan wanted that number 1 seed, and they wanted 4 games in the Bronx instead of 4 in Houston.
Yep.
Boone has made it clear from day one. Like, who cares?
Yeah, stuttering Bob. Yeah, stuttering Bob up over there. I love Aaron Boone. I'm one of the only people, probably as a Yankee fan, that likes Aaron Boone. They have been running this man out of there for years. They don't want him there, and all he's done is won. Yes, he is coaching and managing the New York Yankees. That's fine. It's not that easy. Ask Joe Girardi, okay? Philadelphia Phillies completely bombs. 2 years, he's fired, okay? It didn't work out over there.
The most unmanageable bullpen of all time.
Absolutely. And this guy was an expert with the bullpen. I mean, seriously. So it's ridiculous and dumb by the Yankee fans to really push this guy out. A guy that had no experience as a manager anywhere. I mean, this guy was working with A-Rod and a bunch of idiots at ESPN. That's what this man was doing. And yes, he has the background to do this. Brian Cashman took him on a whim. He went to an interview and he just won the Yankees and management over by his interview. So I worry about this playoff run for one reason. Going into an off season for the first time as a Yankee fan, where I'm questioning where this team is going. Are they going through the farm system? Are they going to bring Dominguez up? Is that why they're going to part ways with Aaron Judge and bring Jason Dominguez up, who is a switch hitting power hitter that could play center field, that could play right and left field for the Yankees for the future, and you have control of him. Volpe, who a lot of people believe will make the team next year and could be the future shortstop, so maybe kind of Falefa. They trade him, and they move Pereza to second base, and they trade Gleyber Torres and get something back for him and rebuild on this team. If Aaron Judge is gone, the only player or two players that could be on this team as veterans besides the pitching is probably Giancarlo Stanton and Anthony Rizzo. The rest of this team could be young. And that's it. They're rebuilding this team for the first time in many, many years. If Aaron Judge decides to part ways with this team, and it could happen, and I think that's the way they're going to go. I think they have the 8th or 9th best farm system in baseball, and they have 3 players that they believe in, and even Oswald, who they called up, Peraza. Is it Peraza? The kid in the outfield,
Oswaldo
Cabrera, who they like too. He could be the future outfielder for the Yankees too. So I think the Yankees are going to go young again, and I think it's going to be a different Yankee team next year if this team doesn't win, and obviously Aaron Judge decides to go to the Red Sox or goes to the Giants, because the Yankees want to get under the cap. If they can't sign Aaron, they're going to go under the cap.